Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back, once again, BoshNRoll video time. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is a hot one from the new set, Kaldheim. This is Shardless Bug featuring Valki, God of Lies / Tybalt Cosmic Imposter. So before we can even talk about this deck, we have to talk about this card. So, Valki, God of Lies, it's a modal double face card, which means that when you are playing the card, you decide which side you're going to play. This does not flip in play like a Delver of Secrets or a Werewolf. You get one or the other. The front half, 2/1 legendary creature for 1 and a black. When Valki enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. For each opponent, exile a creature card they reveal this way until Valki leaves the battlefield. So Valki has sort of a discard disruption, like little Kitesail freebooter, Tidehollow Sculler kind of effect. You could pay X, choose a creature card exiled with Valki, and convert a mana cost X. Valki becomes a copy of that card. So you exile their Tarmogoyf, you pay 2, Valki's Tarmogoyf now, and you have a Tarmogoyf of your own, and until they kill it, they don't get theirs. So that's pretty cool. The crazy cool thing about this is how well it lines up with Uro. Like, if you take Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, they don't have their Uro, and after 2 comes 3 on the mana curve, so you can pay 3, turn this into Uro. It's already in play, so it's entered the battlefield trigger. To sack it doesn't trigger. And it's already in play, so it doesn't have summoning sickness, and you can be attacking with a 6/6 Uro on turn 3 with the front half of Valki, God of Lies. So that's pretty strong. But what we're really here to talk about is the backside. Tybalt Cosmic Imposter, 7 mana Planeswalker. You can cast cards exiled with Tybalt, +2 exile top card of each player's library, -3 exile artifact or creature, -8 exile all graveyards, add red, red, red. So that's basically a Yawgmoth's Will for the rest of the game of both players' graveyards. That doesn't seem great, but here's where it gets cool. If you cascade into Valki, God of Lies with Shardless Agent, you can cast Tybalt Cosmic Imposter, because the Cascade ability checks what the cost of the card is, and the cost of this card is 2 when it's anywhere except the stack. And then Cascade says you may cast that spell without paying its mana cost. So you can just choose, I want it the other half. I want the 7 mana half. So for 3 mana up front, you can get 10 mana worth of spells, and that's the cheese factor. You can get a turn 3 Tybalt Cosmic Imposter into play. So that's the new thing, bringing Shardless Agent back on the map. This was a tier 1 legacy deck for a while, long time ago, but it was true for a while. And a couple of things have developed since that time. 2 of the big ones are Oko and Uro. Like, if you're in bug colors, obviously these cards are going to be present. Another one is Force of Negation. Because of Shardless Agent, its Cascade needs to hit proactive cards. Like, you can't Cascade into Counterspell. So that's the deck used to only be able to play Force of Will as counterspells, but now we also have Force of Negation that you can't Cascade into. So that's a more robust counter suite than the deck's ever had before. And in general, just this bug shell is good because of Oko and Uro. So this is the list. I ripped this from Anzi D MTG, Anurag Das. If you don't follow his content, go check it out. He 5-0'd with a list very similar to this. I tweaked the sideboard a little bit, changed 1 or 2 cards in the main deck, but this is his list. Credit where credit's due. And there's not a whole lot to say. This is just a classic blue deck with this cheese factor of Shardless Agent into Valki, God of Lies. So let's go see if we can deceive some non-believers. All right, I'm on the draw. I've kept this hand. It's got Disruption, 2 cantrips, Shardless Agent. That's what I'm looking for. So my choices are, I can play Astrolabe and see one extra card. Like I do need a second land drop on curve, so I can play Astrolabe to see an extra card immediately. That gives me the most chances to hit my second land drop on turn 2. Or I can play the Thoughtseize, figure out what they're doing. Okay, drawing the second land, I think actually makes that pretty easy that I want to Thoughtseize here. The 2-drops in Legacy are so powerful. Like, I can get a Dreadhorde Arcanist off of this, or if they have to daze me and it sets them back, if it turns out that they're like show and tell or something, like definitely going to be happy I did this. Ooh, Force of Negation, pitching Days Undoing. Okay, so Thoughtseize just upgraded into a Hymn to Turok. Not mad about that. I wonder what single card was worth protecting with Force of Negation there. Alright, cool. I have my 3 mana. Hope I don't get stifled here, but I am going for the Astrolabe. Alright, cool. So I can cast Shardless Agent next turn. I don't think I want to aggressively Force of Negation this Brainstorm. No, we've seen Days Undoing. We know they're at least somewhat of a combo deck. The Hull Breacher Days Undoing package is just, it is real. I think that you can pretty much pigeonhole that into any blue shell, and it'll be a powerful enough interaction that it's worth doing. So we don't really know much about their deck yet, if they're some sort of dedicated Wheel of Fortune deck, or if they're just a normal deck. Oh, there's Dreadhorde Arcanist, so time to Shardless Agent into something good. Alright, Agent, show me the Valki. Oh, just a Ponder, alright. Oh, there's Valki. So, do I want Valki in my hand, or do I want to shuffle it into the deck? Like, if I have 4 mana right away, I could reasonably take a card, immediately transform. Do I need Force of Will? I wanted Force of Will last turn, before the Dreadhorde Arcanist resolved, but we didn't get that dream. I have Uro, so I could end up with all of these cards if I want them. I think I'm going to draw the forest, leave the land on top, and just have this defensive hand up. I really don't want to get Hull Breachered, so Force of Will is not a bad pickup. Oh, are you a show and tell deck? Or, I guess we don't know. This deck could have anything in it, honestly. Monastery Mentor. That's a card I want to fight over. I'm going to pitch Icefang Coatl. I hope they just force me back, and they're hellbent. Brainstorm in response. That's alright. No Flusterstorm. Alright, they forced me back. They're hellbent. I am going to pitch a Brainstorm, not Uro here, because I think Uro will buy me the most time, pull me ahead in the most meaningful way. Though now that they're hellbent, Valki just got a lot worse. I guess they're going to ponder, so there's a chance. Oh, also just having Valki in play can challenge the Arcanist in combat, because then I'll have 3 power, or 4 power to beat this 3 toughness. Dreadhorde Arcanist, for some reason, still a 1/3. They did not shuffle their deck. So I would have to Brainstorm into the Valki, or I could just fetch and get Uro in. If I Uro now, I know I'm drawing Valki, who I guess I don't actually want on this board anymore. I could also get the engine going of fetch, cast Uro, trigger Uro, bounce Uro with Caracas before it dies. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually do have what I need to escape Uro next turn. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shuffle away the Valki. I don't actually want it now that they're hellbent. Get a Snow Forest, and then let's do this thing. Moto bug. That's fine. So I think attacking is more important than blocking here. Like, I do want to get them dead. I am winning the damage race. They're going to pull ahead pretty quick on this Dreadhorde Arcanist, but that is what it is. All right, one card in hand with the Brainstorms in the graveyard for Arcanist. Wasteland would take me off Uro. I don't know how many decks, like, I've never seen a blue deck that has Ancient Tomb and Wasteland in it, but stranger things could happen, I guess. I'm not going to Brainstorm in response. Like, any of my permanents they bounce. Oh yeah, I guess the Shardless Agent, I can't cast the Cascaded card. Alright, that's fair. I'm just going to bring Uro back. So, blue, blue, green, green. I guess I can play around Daze, so I should. I don't know if that's a card they play. The old Ancient Tomb Daze deck. Whoops. So I tapped in a way that I can't cast this Astrolabe. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or just... Like, could I have tapped in a way that left Astrolabe up? Blue, blue, green, green? Yeah, if I left Caracas, Arkham's Astrolabe untapped, that would have worked. Alright, second to Fairy. This one will bounce Uro. Yeah, they're just treading water. I'm ahead on all of these exchanges right now. This Arcanist is the only thing that still has them in this game. If they end up with a Mentor in their hand this turn, I could Valki and then copy Mentor. And if I draw a land, I can also trigger Astrolabe. That's pretty cool. The second Arcanist with no more spells in the graveyard. Alright, that's not helpful. Alright, let's get a peek with Valki. Oh, got your Mentor. Alright, so I can turn that into Monastery Mentor, but I don't think that is where I want to be right now. And their hand is 2 Pluto Delta, so they need to top deck a spell to get these Dreadhorde Arcanist pumping. I think I want to Brainstorm, try to hit my land drop, and then also Uro this turn. I failed in most of those endeavors, so put back these two for now. I'll just cast my 2 Astrolabes, work my way through this. Then next turn I can become a Monastery Mentor. I could have become a Monastery Mentor this turn, but there was no reason to do that when I could have been gaining spell velocity. It looks like they didn't find the spell. And they can't attack because they need to protect Teferi. So, time to become a Monastery Mentor. I drew a spell I can cast. I have a lot of Astrolabes, I should just tap my basics. Nice. You can't keep a good Monastery Mentor player down. If they can ever kill Valki, then they get to get their mentor back. So gotta watch out for that. Put back Valki and Shardless Agent. So I can take out a Dreadhorde Arcanist here by pressuring Teferi. Now that I have a 3/3 creature. I guess they could cast a sorcery. They have one unknown card in their hand. Any cantrip or lightning bolt, though, they would have cast on their turn. So unless this is like Supreme Verdict specifically, I think this is going to work. All right. I was right. Maybe I'm supposed to... Oh no, it just becomes a copy, so it's not a legend anymore. I was about to say maybe I'm supposed to leave Caracas up in these situations, but that doesn't actually do what I want. All right. Time to enter the no fun zone. Oko's here. So now I have 2 3-power attackers between Astrolabe and Mentor. Yeah, wow. Front half of Valki. Just too good. Okay, so they are a Dreadhorde Arcanist deck, confirmed. They're also a blue deck. So I think Pyroblast and Leovold are definitely coming in. Fatal Push for the Arcanist coming in. Carpet of Flowers, options on that one. I like this card a lot less than most people, but I'm willing to play to the wire a little more. Like a lot of people just want to absolutely crush some games and then like have awkward draws in others, and I like to have more of a consistent experience. But I think Carpet of Flowers is probably a card that I'm going to end up wanting. Grafdigger's Cage shuts down Dreadhorde Arcanist. It also shuts down my Uro, but that's all it does. Cascade exiles the cards from your deck, so that you're not actually casting out of your deck for purposes of Grafdigger's Cage. Alright, Force Negation wasn't very good. I do like Decay. Push is fine. Thoughtseize is okay. Dead of Winter is good for mopping up the mentors. I can just increase the efficiency of my counter suite. Do I cut the Uro because I brought in the Cage, but they're like each one card, so probably not. Sven-Coattl's pretty good, and Valki probably is just the cut, honestly. Alright, I still have 2 of them. I'm not giving up completely. Yeah, I think this is fine. Like I'm playing more to the board, which we did see the Days Undoing, so that might be a little bit dangerous, but I have Abrupt Decay's Assassin's Trophies, Red Blast, and 2 forces left to deal with a Hull Breacher. So yeah, let's do this. So Teferi, Days Undoing. That's a lot of Red Blasts. I only play 2, and I have them all, so keep it. This hand is pretty awkward, though. Hopefully I draw another green source or red source. Alright, found a green or red source, so now we're good. Because if I had fetched Volcanic Island, then I wouldn't be able to cast this Icefang Coatl or Abrupt Decay for a very long time. But finding the second fetch land, unlocking green mana, unlocks my hand. Nice, don't even have to fetch. All right, now I've had enough lands deck. It's time to show me the spells. All right, so if I go for Coatl here, they can just play Hull Breacher. All right, yeah, I started to make my move and then decided against it. So I'm just going to play a little off curve, leaving up Red Blast this whole time, so I can Coatl in their end step and counter a Hull Breacher. I'm not going to fight over this. We've seen Days Undoing, we've seen Teferi. Brainstorm, using my Pyroblast on a Brainstorm is not where I want to be. I recorded a league a week or two ago where I spent 4 rounds saying I'm not going to Pyroblast Brainstorm, there's more important things. And then in the 5th round in the finals, my opponent missed a land drop, and then I started Pyroblasting Brainstorms, and then they won easily with an Oko later because I was out of Pyroblast. Like, you just got to remember your plan. And decks like these don't get to just Pyroblast Brainstorms. We don't have a clock like that. Alright, so it looks like they're going to play something backed up by Pyroblast. So I'm going to cast my Coatl now. Like, if they want to counter it, I don't want them to get a Monk. I have Abrupt Decay for Mentor, so this isn't the complete disaster it could be. Do wish that I had played my black land. I would have certainly preferred to just decay this Mentor than flash and Coatl in response, but it's okay. I have it covered. Yeah, that could have been worse. Oh, Leovold. Leovold's a powerful card. That's a good place to try to work this game too. I'm gonna attack because I have to assume they'll play at least one spell on their turn, and this thing doesn't have Death Touch, so I'm not even trading. So I'll just get my damage. I knew it. They had a spell. So I'm planning on doing a Shardless Agent on my turn. I think that's a better place to start than Leovold, because Leovold is easily answered by Red Blast. Shardless Agent requires 2 counterspells. And Valki is not even a blue card, so they're got that going for it too. Alright, I'm gonna play this fetch land. I'm gonna start building up my snow count, because I would like this Icefang Coatl to kill the monk before I lose. Alright, Grafdigger's Cage is pretty solid. That'll shut down any future Arcanus. Alright, casting multiple spells in a turn is a slightly bigger ask. I'm still at 16. I don't think they're going to combo kill me with a monk token, so I'll just keep attacking. Next turn I'll have another Shardless Agent, and I can just start like chugga getting ahead of this monk. Alright, do I fight over this now? When Force of Negation is on? Alright, no, they can have that. I can beat it in combat, then I'll fight over it on the stack. Like if they Days Undoing, I can blast the Days Undoing or blast the Hull Breacher in response. Though if they have protection, I don't have an Astrolabe, so I don't have double red right now. There's only the one Volcanic Island for actual red source without Astrolabe's help in the deck. They've done a lot of sculpting. They've cast 2 Brainstorms and 2 Ponders and 2 Astrolabes, so there's a good chance that they can Days Undoing with Force backup here. I just have to hope they can't. Alright, the Hull Breacher can't attack though, so I'll take that as a win. Thank you, Shardless Agent. If they just pass the turn, I'm gonna Red Blast Hull Breacher in the end step. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't want the spell countering mode. I want the Hull Breacher killing mode. Yeah, if they force me here, I'm in trouble. Yeah, they had the force. Alright. Just gonna be super sure there's not another red source. There is not. Alright. That's gonna work, unfortunately. I'm gonna be hellbent, and they're gonna have a whole lot of mana. Alright, so Shardless Agent. Feed me the Valki. Oh, great, Brainstorm. Alright, yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, it didn't draw an Astrolabe, so I couldn't double spell on the turn I needed to double spell. Alright, that combo's pretty good. Maybe I do want more Force of Wills as interplay. But I mean, the decays, the Pyroblasts. I don't know. I'm not convinced that I want these Force of Wills, even given what we just saw. Yeah, I have so many answers to a Hull Breacher on board, and Days Undoing is only a good card if Hull Breacher's in play. So, yeah, I'm actually gonna just resubmit this same deck again. I thought about it and came up with this conclusion. The Mentor is a little scary, though. Maybe I should have the second Dead of Winter in, but I had a hard enough time cutting cards in the first round. Alright, I'll keep this. I have Astrolabe. Last game probably came down to having Astrolabe versus not having Astrolabe. Four-color mana isn't totally free. It's a lot easier than it used to be, but they don't just give it to you. Alright, let's draw a land and get the Shardless Agent lined up. Alright, got there. Alright, so I can Coatl or Brainstorm as needed in their end step and then untap and jam Agent. I think I'd rather jam Agent than Oko, because Oko can be answered 1-for-1. Agent is the 2-for-1 all the time. Ooh. This is the fastest Ancient Tomb we've seen. They're going to go straight for Hull Breacher. Straight for Arcanist. I'll Coatl in response in case I find Force of Will. Oh, you're a Daze deck. The Daze Ancient Tomb deck. Okay. I'm glad they dazed Coatl. Like, I don't even know why they did that, honestly. That was very weird. Seems like just because they could, now my Shardless Agent can do its thing. Or I could try Leovold. So, order of excitement here. I think that Leovold will do the most if it resolves here. Alright, do you also have Force of Will? You can't force a negation. That was a super aggressive Daze. I hope this long pause is them kicking themselves for dazing so aggressively. So the cool thing about Leovold is that the best thing that Dreadhorde Arcanist does is draw cards. And if they have a Red Blast or Lightning Bolt to clear Leovold, it will deny them their turn, essentially, because they have to tap their only colored source to do that. And if they do that, then I draw a card. Also, Leovold shuts down the entire conversation about Days Undoing, because they don't draw extra cards either. Alright, so I'm going to cast Brainstorm and hope that they Hull Breacher in response, then I'll Abrupt Decay the Hull Breacher. Alright, found my land. That's cool. Found Red Blast. I like that. I'm going to hide. Alright, do I want to hide anything? So I can put Abrupt Decay and Oko on top in that order. Then I can Cascade into Abrupt Decay, killing the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Or I can just attack and hold up Red Blast and Abrupt Decay. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Yes, I'm going to put back both of these Shardless Agents, actually. And I'm just going to attack. They want to flash in a Hull Breacher. I'm happy to fight with it. Otherwise, they can take 3. And maybe they're just bricked here by Leovold. After what they did to me last game with the jamming Mentor to get my answers clear and then pivoting into the Hull Breacher Hull Breacher Days Undoing plan, I like playing super cautiously. Alright, so now I can agent, and I'm going to leave up Caracas to save Leovold in case they kill it, or try to kill it. So this is going to shuffle away the second agent that I put under the Brainstorm. Alright, found a Brainstorm. I can set up my next agent. Alright, so here's the Hull Breacher. Let's hope this works. I don't want to give them a whole bunch of treasures here. I guess I'm gonna. Alright. Despite my best efforts. Oh, yikes. Okay, so put back Brainstorm and Oko. Yeah, Abrupt Decay is definitely the card I want to keep around. So they have a bunch of mana now. They're Pyroblasting Shardless Agent? No respect at all for Leovold. Oh, I guess they don't have to. Now they can target my shit, and I just get treasures instead of... Ooh, instead of cards. That's bad. Wow. I fucked that up so bad. I missed how hard Hull Breacher would screw me over. Now I'm just going to die with this Abrupt Decay in my hand. I should have just held my advantage and done nothing. So I'm not going to draw a card. Yeah, I fucked this game up real bad. And I can still Abrupt Decay this Hull Breacher, and Oko is on top of my deck. So we're still playing. It's just, wow. Yeah, I got to get used to these, the way that these cards interact again. Like, just, I think specifically hitting Brainstorm off of Shardless Agent was where that really went wrong. It's just like the random element of it. Like, if that had hit like Thoughtseize or Valki or really anything, like that would have been, anything other than Brainstorm would have been a lot better, because it cost me the 2 cards in hand on top of them giving them a bunch of treasures. Yeah, that was really bad. Alright, so they shuffled away the Oko, but they also shuffled away the Brainstorm that was under Oko. Great. Oh, well, I drew Oko. Which of your 7 cards would you like to counter this with? They can hard cast several Force Wills. All right. So I messed up. I gave them a small window to punish me, and it did. Like, the Shardless Agent had to hit exactly Brainstorm for that to go as poorly as it did. They had to have the Hull Breacher and backup counterspell. All of that said, though, I could have just held up my Red Blast Abrupt Decay and kept attacking with Leovold, and I think they would have had very few options if I did that. So did get a little unlucky, but also I gave them the opportunity to make me get unlucky, so that's totally on me. So I'm on the draw with a totally solid hand. I'm going to keep it. This hand looks like it's from 2011, other than Ice Fang Coatl. Like, this is Shardless Bug all day. Am I getting Chalice of the Voided? Okay. I mean, that does brick a number of cards in my hand. At least it wasn't Blood Moon. The old Blood Moon versus Shardless Bug is a well-known thing in among aging Magic players, aging Legacy players. For a long time, Shardless Bug played 0 basics. Because of Astrolabe, you have to play a few in this current iteration, but yikes. Oh, they could Blood Moon me now, then I'm in trouble. I would almost prefer Blood Moon to that. Yikes. So, remember when I said this is a 2011 hand? We're losing to a 2011 deck. So, Shardless Agent's going to have to be pretty good to get through this. I guess drawing Abrupt Decay right now would be good. I'm not going to fetch in the end step, because if I draw Abrupt Decay, that would make me want green, but Ice Fang Coatl would make me want blue. So, alright. I can at least trade off with a Goblin this turn, and then I'll have Death Touch next turn. Oh god, what else? Chandra. Yeah, I think... I'm pretty sure that... I guess I'm not going to have Death Touch this turn anyway, so digging for Force of Will is going to be the right call. I was about to say I don't think digging for Force of Will is worth trading off with... or is worth missing trading off with Rabblemaster, but I'm not trading with Rabblemaster this turn anyway. So time to dig for Force of Will. Or Negation. I got 6 outs here. Alright, I'll take an Abrupt Decay. That's a deal. Alright, now they can decide if they want to minus Chandra to kill this for a clean hit. Alright, that's fine. That's kind of why I hung it out there like I did. So I can get this Shardless Agent in on the stack, see where it goes. Though, if it hits any 1-drop, I'll feel pretty bad about it. I probably... So I can Abrupt Decay and then Ponder, but I end up taking 3 plus 5, 8, and then Chandra's still around there. Like, how many 2s versus 1s are in this deck? I have 2 Coatls already. Trophy, Decay, Library. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 1, 2. It's way more likely to hit a 1 than a 2. So I think I'm going to Abrupt Decay. I could also Abrupt Decay Goblin Rabblemaster just to save a little bit of damage. I could also Ice Fang Coatl this turn to trade with Rabblemaster, and then maybe Double Spell on the following turn. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to endure some pain from Chandra for a little bit. Yeah, like, hitting Valki off of Shardless Agent here would be straight up hero mode, but I don't think I'm in a position to actually do that. Alright, there's Blood Moon. Oh, they didn't cast it, they just went for damage. That probably makes sense. Alright, Coatl. I am dead to the Fiery Confluence here. It put me on exactly to 6 off this attack. Shardless Agent would have hit Assassin's Trophy. FML. Magus of the Moon. Okay. I care a lot less about that one. Right, Force of Will. So 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I am very dead on board here. They don't know I'm a Shardless Agent deck yet, so I think there's a reason to not show them that. If I cowaddle, then I take 5 that they know about, and I might hit a land drop. I could also... No, I can't afford to decay, so I'll just get this in. Yeah, I can go to 1 if they attack with everything and plus Chandra, just for damage. But that 1 is the same 1 I would need to cast this Force of Will, so that's not ideal. Maybe they won't attack with Magus of the Moon? I don't know. I have to hope that the 3 cards in their hand and the top card of their deck are all bricks, basically, for this game to have a chance. Ensnaring Bridge, yeah, so I'm taking the damage from that. No way they're going to cast it. Yep, losing to turn 1 Chalice of the Void like it's 2012 with my 2012 hand I kept. That's pretty funny. Guess let's see how they play this turn. Okay, an additional goblin is lethal. Okay, Chalice of the Void deck confirmed. So Brazen Borrower's coming in, Force of Negation's coming in. I don't think, I guess Fatal Push and Dead of Winter should come in to mop up the goblins. Cards that are less good include, I mean, Uro is really tough to cast with Blood Moon in play. I don't have a whole lot of time for Sylvan Librarying in this matchup. Thoughtseize, I think on the play I want Thoughtseize, and on the draw that I don't. That's clipping the Chalice before it comes into play is a big deal. Shardless Agent's going to be good here. Valki's going to be good here too, actually. Like becoming my own Legion War boss, that sounds great. Gotta find some more cuts though. I don't know, maybe I don't want the Thoughtseizes. Like they're pretty bad against Chalice of the Void. So actually we're in a spot where cascading into Fatal Push is bad. This is actually like kind of tough on the Fatal Push front. I think that this is fine. Yeah, Oko is the hero in this matchup. I just need to be alive that long, so the 7 forces plus the decays, trophies, and Brazen Borrower should get over that hump. Alright, now that we know what we're doing, and we're on the play. Ponder, Fatal Push, and 5 lands. I think that's a mulligan. This is great. Yeah, this is a keep all day. Keep, and I think I want to bottom Fatal Push because Valki is going to take their goblin anyway. Awkwardly, oh, is there a basic swamp in this deck? I think there's exactly one. Yep, okay. So I'm going to play the Verdant Catacombs because basic swamp is the color that I want if they have a turn 1 moon effect. They did keep 7. This is actually really awkward for Blood Moon because they Like, I can fetch Forest Island and cast Oko, or I can fetch Swamp and get Valki. It's tricky stuff. Oh, it looks like they're going for the Blood Moon, or they're going for something. Trinosphere. Wow, that's worse. I think I will brainstorm in response to that, at least. This means I have to get a non-basic here. And I'm going to get Tropical Island, because that finds the most colors. And then Polluted Delta can get blue or black as needed. Okay, so I have a plan here, even if it's a slow one. I might need this Dead of Winter. Shardless Agent's never going to happen. Yeah, I get to shuffle away one of these cards, and I'm going to shuffle away the Shardless Agent, because Agent costs 3, and then so does the Cascade spell. We'll just end up in a very expensive situation. I'm regretting not leading on Polluted Delta. I probably should have done that, because if I could fetch Basic Island there and then Basic Swamp here, I guess I still wouldn't have green mana in that situation. Or, yeah, because this fetch land would have been... Yeah, if I could have Basic Island in play and then be representing with the Verdant Catacombs, Swamp, or Forest, that would have been a better sequence. I was planning for Blood Moon and got by Trinosphere instead. Alright, which one is it? Which horrible thing is about to befall me? I kind of hope it's one of the goblins and not a Blood Moon, because Dead of Winter can eventually get the goblins, like, next turn, if I can use my mana. Or use my fetch lands. Then Oko can take over after that. It looks like they're struggling to decide which one is more important. You want to get on board, or you want to keep me off board? Oh, I know exactly what's happening. They're trying to cast Chalice of the Void, but they have Trinosphere in play, and Magic Online is a huge asshole about that. Like, there's some specific way that you have to announce your Chalice of the Void on Magic Online to cast it on 1 through a Trinosphere. It should just cost 3, but there's... I don't even know. There's some stupid thing. This came up in one of my videos a while ago, where I think it was my Mono Black Curses League, where I was trying to stick Chalice under my own Trinosphere, and Magic Online just really struggled with it. Okay, Chalice is actually totally, absolutely freaking fine. I welcome Chalice of the Void. Alright, so I'm just going to jam Oko this turn. So I'm going to get my basic island here. Then I'll get my basic swamp here. Now my Dead of Winters are good for 2, which clears out goblins. And Oko's in play, which is a 1-card combo against this entire archetype. I'm not going to Elk their Chalice because I don't care. If anything, their Chalice is going to be protecting me from a sideboarded Pyroblast. I don't even know if that's a thing they do, but knowing that I don't have to worry about it is nice. I don't have 1-drops in my hand, so Elking their Chalice only gives them a 3/3 at this point. So now they're in the squeeze where they have to try to get on board with goblins to pressure this Oko, but I have double Wrath in hand to mop up the goblins after the fact. And if they don't do anything, I can just Valki them. Valki might be the right play regardless. No, if they put creatures on the board, I'm gonna play Dead of Winter, and then start attacking with my elk. All right, there's a creature. So they can put a damage on Oko here. So I guess the question is, how far ahead can I get? All right, there's the basic forest as well. So I can Dead of Winter these two out of the way and then attack with my 3/3. Yeah, that actually sounds great. Having the second Dead of Winter means I basically don't even have to think about like if didn't have the second Dead of Winter, like if I had elked one elk or like elked my food and just left a 3/3 in play versus their board, like would that have checked their board long enough to make them play a second creature into my Oko? Like that's what I was trying to figure out, but because I have the second Wrath, it doesn't even matter. I can clear that out, get ahead on the race, and then make them commit to more. They're also at 11, and 2 of their lands are Ancient Tombs. Shatter Skull Smashing, 1 damage to each of these things. Was that a misclick, or like what just happened? What actually just happened? Why would they Shatter Skull Smashing, dealing 1 damage to each of my creatures, leaving 2 colorless floating? Even if they did X's 4, that doesn't kill either of these things? Yeah, I'm confused about that. I don't know. Okay, so on the draw, does anything change? I still have... My mulligan decision changes because having a force is going to be a lot more important. But I don't think my actual sideboarding plan changes. Uro is pretty tempting. It's just that he's also very hard to cast under Blood Moon. And I'd prefer to navigate to a place where I play through Blood Moon rather than try to answer it. Like, my Abrupt Decays and Assassin's Trophies are going to be able to pick off the win conditions if I can successfully get my Astrolabes under Blood Moon. So I don't think I want Uro. Yeah, I'll just submit the same deck again. Uh-oh. Yeah. So we're playing Red Stompy Roulette here. This hand is great, except against Blood Moon. Like if they have Chalice of the Void, Trinisphere, I'm just gonna keep and hope they don't Blood Moon me. They've seen a bunch of basics. It's possible they boarded out some number of Blood Moons, but on the play it's a lot better. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then they put Blood Moon on the stack. Here it comes. Oh, it's Chalice. Okay. I'm pretty comfortable with Chalice. At least compared to Blood Moon. Alright, so I can get 1 color of mana right now in case Blood Moon comes. I have to fetch a non-basic if I want black mana. Alright, Rabble Daddy. I can trophy that next turn. Or I can just wait a couple turns. I can chump the Rabble Master with Coatl next turn and then Dead of Winter the whole board the turn after. Okay, yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to end up taking 3 damage total from this Rabble Master, plus the 2 from my fetches, so I'll be at 15 when I wrath this board. I can fetch basics for Coatl. Though if I fetch 2 basics for Quaddle, then they Blood Moon, I can't Dead of Winter. But I wouldn't be able to Dead of Winter under Blood Moon anyway. Alright, Island and basic Forest. Pretty excited they exiled Fiery Confluence. That's always the scariest card in their deck. Okay, cool. So now I'm set up to Dead of Winter this board and then stick Oko as the follow-up. Wow, no play. That's suspicious AF. Oh, drew the second Dead of Winter, no big deal. Okay, so I want Underground Sea. Underground Sea versus Bayou, doesn't matter. I think I'm more likely to want a double blue than double black, so I'm gonna get Underground Sea. So they might have slow rolled the second Goblin to play around Dead of Winter, or they might just have nothing. I would love to cast Oko onto an empty board next turn. Just genuine delightful. Now I'm hoping they do draw Blood Moon, because that's not a good draw here. It hurts them more than it hurts me by turning off their Ancient Tomb. Yeah, they missed their land drop. They didn't even develop mana. Simian Spirit Guide. So this is probably Chandra. Yeah. Alright, I have Trophy for that, but that will give them the basic that they're looking for. But Chandra generates mana anyway, so that doesn't matter. Oh, Valki. So I could Oko and just get Oko happening, or I could answer Chandra, and I'm pretty sure answering Chandra is the right play. Because they would end up with 5 mana or a bunch of options on what to do with her. And this land comes into play untapped, so it doesn't matter if I do this now or on their upkeep. So I'll just do it. This is going to unlock their hand, though. They clearly have a handful of 4-drops. Like, they probably just have a second Chandra, even. Just not drawing any of my 7 forces at any point in all 3 games has been pretty devastating. Like, if I could force whatever their play is this turn, then jam Oko, I would win this game pretty quickly. Like, I did say in sideboarding that mulliganing to force would be part of this game, but I also think that this hand was pretty fine. Oh, okay, they're just faces the place, huh? That's what's going on here. Let's draw a force, please. Ugh. So I can Valki them, I can Oko, and I think they just have another Fiery Confluence, though. Like, why would they do that if that wasn't the plan? I think I just have to get Oko into play and hope I'm still alive. Like, there's nothing I could hit with Shardless Agent that would help. Like, I don't play Ancestral Vision like the old versions of this deck. I think I'm gonna die like 1 turn before I could stabilize against the Confluence. Alright, opponent, what do you got? Like, there could be some world where they think I let Fiery Confluence resolve because it didn't matter, but if the play is the play, discard your hand, draw 3 cards. Okay, so Angie's Ravager doesn't kill me. Puts me to 3. Oh, it doesn't have haste. Why did I think it had haste? Cool. That's even better. Alright, now what can I do? I can Elk Chalice of the Void, Ponder, try to hit a Snowland, or Brainstorm. Okay, yeah. Elk, Chalice of the Void. Brainstorm for a Snowland, Dead of Winter to wrath all these creatures. So Snowland is necessary here. I would also like to find a force off it. Find Snowland force, we win the game. Found Snowland, didn't find force. So unfortunately I can't set up the Cascade into Valki here. So I'm going to put Valki back in the deck and Shardless Agent with it. I'm still dead to Fiery Confluence. But if they played around Force last turn, I hope that they play around it again, though they're approaching the point where they can't afford to. Like, if they have Fiery Confluence, they should just YOLO it onto the stack right now. Oh, this is so stressful. Are you feeling that at home? Just the stress. I'm pretty sure my jaw and all of my muscles are just subtly tensed right now. Just waiting for them to put their card on the stack and figure out if I'm dead or not. Well, it costs 4, so what is it? Oh, Chalice on 2. I don't give a shit about that. It's probably even worse than Chalice on 1. Okay, I think we're going to win this game now. They were pretty smart about that Chalice on 2, it seems. So I'm going to ponder. I want to find a force before I lose this game. Oh, I can set up a Valki for next turn. All right, do not shuffle this library. I'm going to cast Astrolabe. And play Underground Sea. So I can set up a Cascade into God of Lies, or the Cosmic Imposter next turn. And I can go to 8 with my food, so I'm not dead to Fiery Confluence anymore. I also probably could have just had them dead with Elks if I wasn't playing so cautiously, but I'm okay being careful in a situation like this. I'm actually just going to gain 3 life in the end step. I don't think they have any instants that can deal 5, so let's get above 6 right now while the getting's good. And then, alright, they're just conceding. Alright. They're not even giving me the satisfaction of playing my Valki. Alright, on the board. That was a tight one. Next round. Alright, on the play for round 3. This is not a keep. This is totally a keep. And I think I want to send one of the Thoughtseizes to the bottom. Like, I want to curve Thoughtseize into Valki with Force backup. There's not a whole lot of matchups where I would want double Thoughtseize. Like, this should give me the information I need to make informed decisions, and we'll see where it goes. Alright, this might be a matchup where I want a double Thoughtseize. I can exile Grizzlebrand with Valki, though. That's fucking nice. So, I can strip the Preordain, and then their hand is pretty awk. But I don't really have a plan to play through Daze, but Daze is a card I can ignore for a little while. The other option is take the Grizzlebrand. But I do have Force of Will, but they have double sneak attack, so I am going to take Preordain, actually. Alright, another Sneak and Show versus Shardless Bug like it's 2012. Is nature healing itself? Did we all just agree that Oko's banned, except for me? Right, there's the Valk. Are they going to cast Preordain on me? Alright, nope. Cool. Alright, so a land would be a pretty good draw here. Alright, drew the land. Love to see it. So next turn I can Valki while playing around Daze, still holding up Force of Will. So the Valki can clip the Grizzlebrand and give us a second look at the hand, see how it's developed. I hope we get to 8 mana and just make our own Grizzlebrand. If they double Daze this, I won't even be mad. Or they're just forcing the fetch, that's fine. I'm gonna get Tropical Island. Yeah, like if they end up having a second Daze, then I don't even care. Like it sets them back a land and I get 2 cards out of this Valki. Or did they just like forget that I can pay for Daze and snap it off? No, they did have double Daze. Yeah, that's fine. That's 2 fewer Dazes for this Force of Will on their payoff spell. And I can jam Oko next turn with pretty reasonable confidence that it will resolve. I guess I don't know that, but let's go, Oko. I do think getting this real threat into play. Oh, did you have a third Daze, you psycho? Alright, whatever. Okay. So the fact that 2 of their draws were Dazes, doesn't really matter. Like, unless their mystery card is Ancient Tomb, then this is still mostly okay. Okay, so they've missed land drops. That's good news. I'm gonna brainstorm. Do I want to brainstorm? I'll just coatl. Just hold on to this brainstorm for a minute. I'm coatling main phase in case I draw land or Astrolabe that I would want to cast or play right now. So this has Death Touch now, which might end up mattering. Or might not. We'll see. I'm also 1 land away from hard casting Force, which I think is going to line up really well against this hand of theirs that keeps missing land drops. So I'm not going to brainstorm because I actually like this entire hand right now. Having double Force against their double sneak attack, I could do a lot worse. Oh no, they found a cantrip. So lucky. I'll probably brainstorm in the end step. They did not shuffle their Ponder. And they bottomed, so they wanted one of the cards off Ponder. I'm going to brainstorm in the end step, just to turn my brainstorm into some sort of threat. Like, I've done all this work, now I need to get this game over with. That's not how you do it. Alright, what's the hold-up, opponent? I found my 5th land for force. Hardcast force. Alright, so blue, blue, green, green. Double green. I already have double blue. There is no double black. There's basically no double anything except green and blue with Uro. So I think that Tropical Island is still the card I want to get here. Okay, so now I have Hardcast Force plus Pitch Force if necessary, and I have a card that I'm pretty happy to brainstorm away. A Shardless Agent would be a great draw. Just starting to push ahead here, that would go a long way. They just played that so they wouldn't have to go to discard. Okay, Shardless Agent confirmed. That is the droid I was looking for. I'll get Underground Sea here. Uro, also a nice find. Dead of Winter, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, I think I want the velocity of Agent. Maybe it'll hit Valki. Alright, Quaddle has Death Touch now. Oh, there's Valki. Nice. I'm gonna do it to check their hand. See if I can snag a creature out of it, see what counter spells they have available. Did they draw the 4th daze? What do you got? They are at 7 cards in hand, which is pretty scary. B-Storm in response. Hide those monsters from me. Yeah, Valky's surprisingly great. Just on the front half. Doesn't even need to be Tybalt. So we're actually at a pretty scary point of the game where I haven't provided meaningful pressure, and they're looking at 9 cards right now. They can hide their payoff from Valki, and if they have like Ancient Tomb plus Force of Will, I'm actually like just dead. Ooh. They're forcing this? Cool. Brainstorm Pitching Force. Or Force Pitching Brainstorm. Yeah, that's fine. That's a deal. Alright, I think I can attack again here. At some point, it will probably be right to defensively hold up Coatl, like a Death Touch Coatl, but I don't think we're there. Alright, so I'm going to have to force this, and I'm pitching Uro, because I need the second force for next turn. Oh, that was Show and Tell. That wasn't even one of the 2 sneak attacks I know about. That's scary. Alright, well, I'm in on this Force of Will, so I'm going to attack again. I'm going to pressure this Ancient Tomb. I am going to play this land. I don't have a Mystic Sanctuary or anything, but I don't want this force to get dazed. Uh-oh, time to draw Thoughtseize, or another force. There are 5 more forces in the deck, so Cantrip, Force, Thoughtseize, something here. Alright, we're still doing it. Game is afoot. Ice Fang Coatl, cantrip me into a Force of Negation, please. Or Thoughtseize. Or Brainstorm. All right, so I actually have Caracas on the bottom of the deck. Like, Caracas just got is randomly on the bottom, and that is a good card to hit. So do I want to fetch before my Coatl draw? It's better. It gives me more chances to hit Caracas, but it's worse if I find a cantrip, and I guess I play more cantrips, so I'll just take the draw. Oh, we get to spin the wheel again? All right, let's go, go, go. And one of us is about to lose this game. I guess I could Cascade into Brainstorm and Brainstorm into Force Blue card. Ponder's not going to do it. Yeah, we're dead. I do want to shuffle this library. Oh, there's Brainstorm, right on time. So I'm going to leave back the Coatl this turn. Both of them. So they're pretty good chance to resolve Sneak Attack this turn. Well, I mean, they're guaranteed to resolve Sneak Attack this turn. But, so, if they have Emrakul, I sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5, 6. I'll probably leave at least one snow permanent. Oh, Grizzlebrand will give them a lot of life to work with. Yeah, like, I'm not just dead to Emrakul. And Grizzlebrand is actually fine, because they gain 7, but they can't afford to draw the cards. Like, Grizzlebrand will die to Death Touch before they get to draw anything. So I get to Brainstorm looking for Assassin's Trophy now. All right, you're out of here. You're at 11 life, though. Oh, this is stressful stuff. All right, Fetch Land was actually really good. Come on, Assassin's Trophy. Abrupt Decay is close, but no cigar. I'm gonna fetch and Astrolabe. I can still draw a Force, either one here. Or I guess Force doesn't matter, the spell's already in play. I need Assassin's Trophy. Alright, I did draw Force, but like I said, that's not actually what I want at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, I mean, they need a second monster. I'm putting them under 7 again, so they can't draw with Grizzlebrand. And I can Force of Negation a spell if they have a spell that I care about. I'm also not dead to Emrakul. Alright, sneaking. Alright, Grizzlebrand, are we doing that same turn again? Oh, do you have both? That sucks. Wow, okay. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, and I'm not. Alright, well, I can make it so if they draw cards, they lose at least. So, Annihilator 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I don't have. Oh, I don't need Death Touch. This is going to die at the end of turn anyway. Okay, so if they draw 7, they're at 5, and I can attack for 6. So we're actually still playing this game. Let's see if they have a 4th monster in their hand. This has been a really good game. You're killing me. Just let your things die. Go to 6 and then concede. That's what I need here. Next turn, I will snap off Force of Negation on any cantrip. I don't think they realize they need to stack their triggers right now. Or maybe they're just really deciding if they should activate Grizzlebrand. But if they were going to activate Grizzlebrand, they needed to do it on their second main phase to try to find a... Oh wow, they stacked these backwards, so now there's one less monster in their deck they could top deck. Take those tiny edges. Alright, in for 6. Alright, you're up. Please don't do it. Please don't have a 4th monster. I played my land so I can play around days. There is one more days in the deck. Alright, they have 1 card left in hand. You can't hardcast Force like this. You need double blue. I think the last card in their hand is Force. I think we did it. Unless they're just jerking me around a little. Yeah. Alright, that was an awesome game. Survived 2 Grizzlebrands and an Emrakul attack. Get out of here. Alright, Pyroblast, Leovold. Leovold's good because if they show and tell and put in Grizzlebrand, they can't draw cards. The 7th Force coming in. Brazen Borrower is not super exciting, but it can bounce a resolved sneak attack, which matters. And I do have a bunch of cards in the deck I don't want. These Abrupt Decays, Fatal Push, Dead of Winter. That's not what this matchup is about. Oko is like pretty okay. Valki, surprisingly, it baited a Force of Will both times I cast it. I do have a Caracas in the deck. I cascaded past it. Depends on how much they were paying attention, if they saw it or not. So Oko's very good, because if they show and tell Emrakul early, I can cast Oko and Elk it, so that is a line that exists. I think Uro's kind of janky in this matchup. Like, it's just not going to come down to that. Grafdigger's Cage. Their creatures are not coming out of their decks or graveyards, so that's not what I want. And yeah, this looks good to me. Now if I have double Thoughtseize again, I'm going to keep it. Remember when I put Thoughtseize on the bottom and it turned out they were show and tell? I have 1 Thoughtseize, and this hand is almost good. So I'm on the draw. No, fuck it, I'm going to mulligan. I should have kept. I guess I'll keep this. I'm going to put 1 of these lands, actually 2 of these lands on the bottom. Alright, if they come out quick this time, I'm just dead, because I've kept a shitter. Or Desperate 5, as they say. Hopefully they think I was just aggressively mulling for Force of Will, and they play accordingly. Though being on 5, they're much more... If they just have like the turn 2 with Force backup, they're extremely likely to jam it. I guess they're going to jam that anyway. What am I even saying? Alright, daze this, please. Alright, they didn't daze it. Alright, Sylvan Library is actually a great draw on this mull to 5. See if we get that far. Ooh, no second land drop. So I'm going to go for the library. I could like double cantrip here, trying to find a Force, but them having like nothing go last turn is pretty suspicious. Like, why would they do that? Their hand must be on the verge of going off. I don't know. It's weird. I'm going to put Sylvan Library into play, though. Or at least try. Wow. They missed their land drop and then also cast Daze. That was cool. Let's see, do they just have 2 Lotus Petals and Show and Tell? Because I can't beat that. All right, land for Shardless Agent. Yeah. I feel like I should be cantripping, but at the same time, just the way that they've played this game so far is so strange. Like I just want to push my advantage, my perceived advantage. Like they must be on the verge of comboing, like just 1 card short or something. Hell yeah, Force of Negation. All right, so now I have a creature in play. I have a force in hand. I'm drawing my 4th land, and I have a million cantrips, so this is getting better. I have to assume they have a handful of counterspells, though. If you're just willing to miss land drops with your combo deck like this. If I had to guess their hand right now, I would think it's like City of Traders, Show and Tell, a bunch of counterspells, but no monster. Weird shit's going on over there. So my next card down is Ponder. Icefang Coatl, always happy to see that. Okay, so now I can hold up Hardcast Force of Negation. And I can Coatl. Or I can Coatl, not both. If they don't do anything, I can just Coatl. And like we saw last game, Coatl can hang sometimes versus monsters. Alright, so is it time to start parading Show and Tells onto the stack for the next several turns? Like they gotta either have like 1 payoff and a million counters, or a million payoffs. Or they're just hitting their fail rate, which I'm also okay with. Unless they've pivoted into some sort of Hull Breacher deck. Guess that's also possible. But I hope it's not the case, because my hand is full of brainstorms. Another Coatl. Another Force. Alright. In business. Alright, now we have sort of a real clock too. Getting in for 3 a turn, it'll be 4 next turn if they don't make me do anything. So they're on 8 cards in hand now. They'll have to go to discard if they don't do anything. Alright, they did something. Alright, looks like they're going to go for a Show and Tell with Red Blast backup. Oh, or a Sneak Attack with Red Blast backup. Either way, I'm happy to hardcast a Force of Negation, and then I can pitch for the second one if I need to. Alright, how many counterspells do you have? Playing around Daze. Alright, so I'm actually going to exile Brainstorm to my Force instead of Coatl, because if they do put in Emrakul here, I want to put in Coatl. Okay, so they pitched Preordained to their Force, so they could have a follow-up next turn. Now's a good time to Brainstorm looking for more answers. Could find Thoughtseize. Yeah, alright. Always say the name of the card you're trying to draw. So I can't... Alright, so I'm going to keep Thoughtseize plus Force blue card. It's just which blue card I want to pitch, so I'm going to leave the Oko on top of my deck. And because that one can win the game pretty quickly if unchecked. This Thoughtseize should end the game, though. Like, what could be left in their hand that beats Thoughtseize plus Force of Will when they have 3 cards? And they need 2 of them to go off. Alright, yeah, strip that sneak attack. So they have 2 monsters. I can cast this Coatl if they don't find something, which takes a turn off the clock. If they crack this fetch land, they're actually just dead. If I don't have to pitch. Like, if they crack this fetch land, going to 7, I have 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're just not going to do it, so. Do I even cast this Coatl? I don't think that I do, because I just want to play Oko, and is there a difference? As playing Coatl, it's a 2-turn clock either way, so yeah, I guess playing Coatl draws me an extra card, where playing Oko doesn't. And they're both a blue card. They're both a 2-turn clock, so yeah, this is fine. I can also just hardcast the Force now and keep Oko. Alright, so pretty sure we win. Not sure what they could draw here that changes that. Like, I just force literally anything they draw, and they don't have very many draws. Yeah, they're Deadzos. Shardless Agent Beatdown, 2012 versus 2012 dual decks. I'm on the play here. This hand's pretty great. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, so I just got to Astrolabe into the front half of Valki. Oh, I probably want a Sylvan Library. I guess it depends on the matchup. See what they got. I just really want to live the dream of exiling Uro turn 2 and attacking with Uro on turn 3. Mox Diamond. Okay, I am probably not going to Valki this deck. Oh no, Ancient Tomb also? Stop. Alright, another Chalice deck. Fine, I'll Sylvan Library. Drawing Force was good. The Sylvan Library should find the land I need for Oko. I can fetch basics. Play around Wasteland. I can probably pay life pretty aggressively against a deck like this. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I think that's worth a Force of Will. Not casting that Ponder anyway. They can't Veil of Summer or Pyroblast me because of their own Chalice. Alright, so we just need to find a land off the Sylvan Library, jam Oko, and then go to town. Well, shit, didn't get there. I'm going to keep all of them, though. Then I want to get a look at this hand. You have another creature in there? Alright, I'll take your Baleful Strix. Okay, so they have Abrupt Decay and Nurturing Peatland left in that hand. They'll have to decide if they want to destroy Sylvan Library or Valki. Though the Valki's not doing much, but it is currently a 2-for-1 if they don't answer it. And turning into Baleful Strix doesn't really do me any good. And it gives me a Death Touch creature, but it's not like I draw the card, because it's already in play. And I would be cracking off Abrupt Decay so hard on this Sylvan Library, but I guess if they do that, they lose to this Oko in my hand. But missing the land drop is a pretty big smoking gun that I'm counting on this library. Okay, they don't have the mana to decay and replay the Strix this turn. Okay, decay's answered. Alright, Valki, time for 2-1 beatdown. Ugh. I'm gonna do this now to try to hit my land drop. Yikes. Alright, Chalice is getting pretty good. It turns out when you miss on an Ancestral Recall in your 21 land deck, bad things can happen. Caracas. Alright, that can bounce Valki, which lets them play the Strix again. I would hate to lose this deck with Uro just sitting in my hand. Or with Oko sitting in my hand. There's the Uro that Valki would have loved to steal. There is a glitch on Magic Online that I've seen on Twitter lately that Uro, even when you elk it, still triggers when you attack. So I hope they fix that. They did like a hotfix update yesterday. So I hope that that was one of the things they hotfixed. Land, please. God damn it. Well, the good news is if they Caracas Valki in combat, I can just replay it. But why would they do that when they could just go to discard? Make me go to discard. Well, I am 16 cards into my deck without finding the second land. Or the third land. Absolute misery. So they're gonna Uro this turn. I do have a Death Touch Coatl that can answer Uro in combat, at least for a little while. And they can Caracas to bounce their own Uro also. Yeah, this Caracas is a pretty good and permanent check on Valki. Oh, I've played against so much Chalice of the Void in this league. Very, very strange to see so much of that card. It does feel like people are practicing with their post-Oko decks. So now if I do hit my land drop, pretty sure I have to Oko. Especially if they play Uro, yeah. Alright, fine. Yeah, but if I Elk Uro, they can attack for 3, bounce their Elk, and then just Uro again and reset the whole thing. Oh my god, sweet relief. I'm gonna get my Swamp. So I just feel like they're probably a Wasteland deck. Alright, let's hope they fix this glitch, because I really need them not to draw a bunch of extra cards. I'll leave my blocker back as well. It would be pretty cool to Elk their Chalice and then Shardless Agent into Valki. Like if I untap with this Oko, I can draw a land, brainstorm into Valki. God damn it. Cool. They didn't fix the glitch. Alright, well, I'm gonna submit and ask for a refund for this league, one way or the other. Yeah, cool. So opponent's drawing extra cards for no reason. It's not their fault, but it is extremely frustrating. It's weird that that worked for like a year. Like the entirety of 2020, since Theros Beyond Death came out, that worked, and then they made a fix that broke it. Like, come on. Give me a break. Okay, so they just asked us to bug. Okay, so they didn't cast Baleful Strix even though they could here. That's a little strange. Alright, so I want to get my Oko in again. I don't think I'm ready to just elk this Chalice. They'd need a third Abrupt Decay to really punish. Alright, I mean, I'm just going to hope they don't have that. Because I don't want to give them a 3/3 creature when I'm at 9 life, as I am. Though not playing Baleful Strix when they could, I probably should have read into that. A Hull Breacher. You're also a Hull Breacher deck, you monster? Okay. So now I have to elk Chalice and elk Hull Breacher before I can do anything. Oh, do you have Oko also? I mean, there's definitely Oko in this deck. Oh god. Alright, so Field of the Dead is also coming. Alright, so they just have all of the cards that exist in their deck. I'm surprised that they don't have Luttre as a companion, based on what I've seen. I guess I saw 2 Abrupt Decays. So. Yeah, so let's see if they play 2 Field of the Dead, or if they have a Field and a Valakut, or what the plan is here. Pretty sure I can't win regardless. And them pulling ahead, drawing that extra card, gaining 3 life for no reason. Yeah, Field of the Dead plus Waterlogged Grove just came into play. I'm trying to think of how I can win this game. Pretty sure I just can't. All right, what can I do here? So I can. Oh no, I can't. Well, I can brainstorm and put Valki on top, though that would give them. Like, does Tybalt even help here? I can exile Primeval Titan with Tybalt. I can take 5, lose Oko. Oh no, take 8, lose Oko. Yeah, I'm just out on board. All right. All right, definitely filing for reimbursement because of that bug. But in the meantime, let's figure out how to beat this deck. Brazen Borrower for the Chalice, the Mox Diamond, and the Hull Breacher all sound good. They do have Uro and Hull Breacher, at least, for blue cards. I assume Oko has to be in this deck. I don't think... Or I guess Dead of Winter could mop up some zombies, but if I'm playing against zombies, I've probably already lost if they get that high. Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm going to cut Fatal Push. I think I do want the Pyroblast, and they're probably better than some number of Force of Negation. Nullra doesn't seem important. Graveyard Hate could matter. Maybe I'll bring in 1 Spell Bomb. Like, we saw Uro, and it's reasonable to assume they might have Life from the Loam in this deck, but I think having Nile Spell Bomb around is a reasonable choice. Dead of Winter. Do I want to play to a board where I have to tempo through zombies or not? I don't think so. I'm going to try to win the game before that happens. Is Leovold good here? I guess it could. It does draw a bunch of cards versus Caracas. It doesn't line up well versus Hull Breacher like we saw in that other matchup. I think Force of Will's not where I want to be. Maybe Thoughtseize is actually worse than Force, so I'll split those numbers again. Alright, opponent said that maybe they just don't care about Legacy enough to fix the bug, but and then mention the podcast. So thanks for listening. Alright, this hand I'm gonna keep. This is really good against Chalice of the Void. I need a third land, but I do have a cantrip to get there. Alright, this certainly looks like a Chalice. Yep, alright. I have that covered. Alright, super covered. So now I have to decide if I want to fetch basic swamp or regular swamp. Like, I didn't see any wastelands game 1, but all of the context of their deck makes me think it's a card they might have. I don't think I can afford to play around wasteland right now. Just want to get my colors online. Alright, come on, deck. Land Shardless Agent. Land. Alright. Let's make a Valki. 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 Shit. Awkward. I mean, that's what happens when you board in these reactive cards. Okay. That's a pretty good reason not to board that card in. Oh, but there's a great reason to board that card in. I'm going to let this resolve. I'm holding Abrupt Decay, so I want to fight it that way. If they have Days Undoing here, then good for them. Can't really attack with this Hull Breacher, because I'll just block easily. And so they could have Veil of Summer. Oh, there's Pyroblast when I don't have mana, the correct mana. Alright, don't have Veil of Summer, please. I really don't want to spend a Force of Will on this. Alright, so the 2 Pyroblasts I boarded in, one cascaded off Shardless Agent with no targets other than Shardless Agent, and the other is in my hand with no red mana. So if there's a game 3, I might get off of these just because of how bad that was. And Assassin's Trophy can also destroy Field of the Dead, so that is a kind of real plan. Right, Plague Engineer. Are they going to name Snake or Rogue? Or what's the plan here? Snake, okay. This preemptive answering of Ice Fang Coatl, that's fine. Oh, I drew a Brainstorm when there's no Hull Breacher in sight. How lucky. Alright, so now my red mana's online. Definitely going to keep beating down here. Hopefully they just trade off. They didn't fall for it. I can force a Primeval Titan unless they also have Cavern of Souls. Alright, that's not a Cavern. So I can force Prime Time with Pyroblast backup if they have a force of their own. I'm just not going to play my Snake. I am going to fetch, though, because I don't want to draw those 2 lands on top of my deck. My Brainstorm's pretty good. Alright, so do you have a Hull Breacher? Nope. Good. So put back Brainstorm and... Alright, one of these cards is going to be on top of my deck when the dust settles. So I'm going to put Brainstorm and Assassin's Trophy on top of my deck in that order. And I'm going to play the Astrolabe. Draw the Assassin's Trophy. And now I have Force, blue card, Pyroblast, and Trophy up. I've maximized my available answers. They clearly don't have Hull Breacher, or they would have breached that Brainstorm. Replicate that. Okay, deal. Alright, they're at 6 life with an Ancient Tomb in play. Ooh, that looks crazy on Magic Online. Alright, so this Plague Engineer is actually really good. That was a really smart name. Shit, there's Cavern of Souls. Naming Giant. I could Assassin's Trophy the Cavern in combat. Like, what do we think the chances are they just don't even have Primeval Titan in hand? Yeah, let's do that. And if they're not holding prime time, that was just a really good deal for them. But if they are, I just might have saved the game. All right, Brainstorm, it's going to see all fresh ones. I don't know any of my top cards right now. Okay, this is actually really good. So I can Thoughtseize, Oko, or... So I can't do everything. I have to... If I put back Pyroblast, Land, then I can Thoughtseize into Oko, leaving up Force of Will, and then the Pyroblast is on top. I think that's probably the best one, best version of this. Show me your secrets. Please don't cast Veil of Summer. Abrupt Decay that in response. Yeah, that's fine. 2 lands, Cavern, okay. So they didn't have the Giant. But they do have another Cavern if they find a Giant. Or Dryad of the Elysian Grove also just like kills me outright. Okay, they didn't play the Cavern. That's good news. So they can attack Oko and just go to 3, or they can not attack Oko and lose their Plague Engineer to blocking. All right, is it better to attack into Plague Engineer or to trade for it? Because they can go to 9 off the food. I'm going to attack into it. I don't really want them to gain a bunch of life here. And now I can play this snake that they've so carefully not let me have. I know my top card is Verdant Catacombs, so I can't get up to 7 mana to hardcast Force, even with that Verdant Catacombs. So I'm gonna just hold my horses here. Chalice on 1. Okay. Oko is in play, so I don't need to be super worried about that. Alright, be free, my snake. Now I can hardcast Force. Ooh, Shardless Agent. I can Elk Chalice. I can Elk Icefang Coatl. Yeah, I think I just want to Elk Coatl and put them dead on board with Force in my hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so if they draw Primeval Titan, they can get me. I think I'm also... Am I dead to Dryad? Because it depends on if they have lands in their hand. Oh, come on. You drew the Primeval Titan. Absolute monster. Okay, whatever. I'll Elk it. Alright, so Primeval Titan is going to make a bunch of zombies now, plus they can fetch, get another zombie. So gotta work through these zombies. Alright, so do I just Shardless Agent recklessly? Because if I hit Valki, I get really good attacks. If I hit a 1-drop, I get nothing. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. Valki, Valki, Valki. Shit. Alright. No, don't cast that card. It's just gonna die to Chalice. Alright. I mean, having that material in play isn't bad. Alright, so that's another body in play. Let's see if Primeval Titan triggers when it attacks too. That would be really annoying. The top deck Primeval Titan when you're dead on board. Welcome to Magic the Gathering. This game is still getting like pretty good though. They're at 2, so this Ancient Tomb's off. They can draw some cards. And Uro is an insane draw here. It's also a giant, by the way, for this cavern. Oh, you have an Oko of your own. Alright. I can Red Blast that in the future. Okay, they can Ghost Quarter themselves to get another zombie if they have basics to search for. Oh my god. Please just fail to find. That would be the honest thing to do. Okay, they could have chosen to fail to find and instead got more lands out of their deck. So if they're going to take advantage of the bug, and I'm not going to win anyway, but especially not if they're just leaning into this incorrect ruling. Okay, on to the final round. Already going to file for reimbursement on this one. All right, time to shake off that tilt, and this is not a keeper. I'm on the draw. My first play is a turn 3 Shardless Agent, unless they're some sort of Delver deck. It's actually a great hand against Delver, but I have no idea what they're doing. All right, this one's a keeper. I'll bottom the Tropical Island because C already makes black, I guess, and then the Misties can get blue and green. Are they just going to play Delver? My first hand would have been great. And by great, I mean fine. So I'm going to fetch now for a forest just to play around Stifle. All right, Valki, it's time for you to be fair against this deck. All right, first time we've played against Delver though, so see how this goes. There is a bunch of removal in the deck. Shardless Agent is the type of card that can overwhelm Delver's soft counters, but we will see. The first thing is going to be removing this Delver from play. It's priority number 1. If they're Rug Delver, they're going to have Okos though, and I do play an Uro, so maybe I can cheat my way to advantage, knowing that I still get my trigger. Oh, that's awkward. By the way, when stuff like that happens on Magic Online, file a bug report and file a reimbursement report. Like They'll probably give you your money back, no questions asked, and they need to know about the problems in order to fix them. Though, like I said, I've been seeing screenshots for at least 2 days, 2 or 3 days, like since the last scheduled downtime. And they even ran a hot fix that apparently didn't hotly fix anything. So I can try to set up this Valki. I think brainstorming here is going to be the best use of my turn, though. I'm out of days range right now. I'll put these 2 lands back in the deck and Thoughtseize them. If they daze a Thoughtseize, that's not the worst. Sucks that I have to fetch a non-basic, but that's life. I would really like to pressure Dreadhorde Arcanist before it's in play. Lightning Bolt, Oko, Hootie Booties. Okay, so Hooties can actually show up next turn. I can Force of Negation Oko, but I basically have no plan for these Hooters. Alright, yeah. I mean, this sucks. This hand just wrecks me. They have the Wasteland to punish that non-basic I just fetched. I'm going to have to pitch the Ice Fang Coatl, which was my answer to Delver, in order to get this Oko. But if they waste me, they can't cast Oko the same turn. And even if I ended up taking Oko in order to give Ice Fang a chance, they have the Lightning Bolt for that. And they drew Delver. Wow. Alright. Delver is such a good deck. Doesn't even feel fair what they're up to sometimes. Yeah, and just dead to this Lightning Bolt. The Ponder's going to set up the Delver that they just drew. Wow. This is a complete and absolute kicking. Yeah, on the draw against a turn 1 Delver that flipped on time, backed up by Wasteland and Lightning Bolts, and don't have a removal spell. The classic Delvering. So Thoughtseize could take this Oko, but I'm at 10. Thoughtseize puts me to 8. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. Yeah, I'm just dead. Okay. So, sideboard time. Time to cut all these awkward forces and get these juicy removal spells in the deck. And Carpet of Flowers definitely coming in here. I don't think I want Thoughtseize in this matchup. And Leovold's alright. Brazen Borrower is optional. Let's see how many cuts I want to make. Do I just go 0 forces like it's actually 2012? I'm trying to overpower Oko anyway. Is this the best plan to do it? So is Brazen Borrower better or worse than Grafdigger's Cage is the last remaining question here. Cage does shut down my own Uro, who does matter in this matchup, but Dreadhorde Arcanist also matters a lot in this matchup. Alright, yeah, I'm actually gonna stick with that. I wish I had Ground Seal. Ground Seal answers Dreadhorde Arcanist, but I still get to use Uro. Yeah, I would replace the Cage with a Ground Seal. I guess the Cage helps against elves and stuff too, though, which Ground Seal doesn't. I would replace one of these other Graveyard Hate cards with Ground Seal. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna count on my removal and card advantage. Yikes. So I can keep this Ponder. I am gonna keep this. I need the Ponder to find 2 lands, though. Could definitely just lose here. But I don't think this hand is, like, stupid or just YOLO. Like, I think this is actually a totally fine thing to do. Alright, found another land and another Ponder. So turn 3 Shardless Agents coming in hot is the plan here. Also have this Dead of Winter lined up, and I can fetch a bunch of basics to get us there. So I could fetch, shuffling away the Leovold that I know I don't want, or I could ponder and maximize with a fetch land, and I think I want to do that. Yikes. That's a shuffle. Alright, I found my third land. It's not exactly a particularly exciting land, but it is a land. It will cast Shardless Agent. How about you don't flip, maybe? Alright, didn't flip. So now we have to figure out if they're a Stifle version of this deck or not, which is the next hurdle to climb. They certainly passed the turn. Alright, let's find out. Didn't stifle me. Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to get basic forest. And I guess I have to get black mana, even if I am playing into Wasteland. It's fine. This I could also just abrupt decay this thing, but I like the idea of just getting my Cascade value going. Red Blast, hey. Destroy target blue permanent. That one. Yeah, there's so much removal that like taking a turn off to only do one thing when you could do two things. I just think jamming spells onto this deck is the right way to play this deck. Or this matchup anyway. As we saw in round one, it was not the right way to play this deck in that matchup, where I jammed spells on this deck and lost for it. But against Delver, like they generally count on 1-for-1s and tempo, and if you can jam all these 2-for-1s on the stack, these counter resistant, like they have to put up 2 different counter spells here to answer both of these things. And they can care about one or the other. Like if they think they can win a game where, oh wow, so it's a 3-for-1. Like if they think they can win a game where they have Delver in play, then they can fight over the Pyroblast. If they think they can win a game where the board is even, then they can counter Shardless Agent and let Delver die. So they still have choices they can make, but that was a tough spot that they were in. Just got a full-ass 3-for-1 out of this Shardless Agent. They can strip me off black, but I have another Shardless Agent lined up. They can't attack because of the 2/2 body around. They could fetch and Hooting Mandrills here, but I do have Assassin's Trophy for when I find the black source, and I'm going to have 4 power in play next turn to trade with it in combat. Alright, backup Delver. Dead of Winter's looking juicy. Yeah, also by ramming all these spells onto this deck, as you do, it reduces what they can have left in the tank when I go for the Dead of Winter, which really matters. Uh-oh, it's actually time. We finally did it. Tybalt's in play. Cosmic Imposter. So I can exile the top card of each player's library. You may play cards. So I have made a land drop this turn. If I zap a Delver, then this can die to Bolt or the other Delver attack, but that also means that Delver is not in play. And it means I can cast Delver. Because this is an emblem. Tybalt doesn't need to be in play for the game to remember that that card was exiled with Tybalt. So I did just gain a Delver off of that exchange. And I can cast it with Caracas because of this emblem. Alright, finally. So that's probably gonna... Oh, they didn't even have the Lightning Bolt, wow. Delver didn't flip last turn. Oh, now it flipped into the Lightning Bolt. Okay, goodbye Tybalt. But Tybalt did exile Delver, it's going to give me a Delver, and it's going to absorb 3 damage that would have otherwise gone to my face. Alright, rip, big man. It was nice of you to show up in the 5th round. I'm pretty excited about that, honestly. Alright, what you got, opponent? I'm gonna need to find black mana. And I have this Oko I can cast if I don't find black, but black would be a huge deal here. Yeah, this looks like a Hooting Mandrills. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so they can't Force of Will this turn. They can Daze. Black mana? Oh yeah, that's black mana. That's lots of black mana. Alright, so I go to second main, because this triggers at the beginning of each main phase. And I would like to make black. Yes. Black. Oh shit, I used my green already. I'm such a dildo. I needed to make green this turn. Oh no, I can still Dead of Winter, but that's for next turn. Wow, that was so fucking stupid. Okay, whoops. I just got excited. Did the wrong thing. Alright. So I guess if I make green, I can at least get Oko into play that turn, and then I can set up my big Abrupt Decays for next turn. Do I want to take 7 and go to 9? I could chump and take less damage. No, I think I want to use these 1-for-1 removal spells. Like, if I'm gonna Wrath, I should chump and absorb the damage, but if I'm not gonna Wrath, I should just take it. Alright, so I need a green or a black source here. Top of my deck is Fatal Push. Yes. Okay, that was actually great, because now I don't need the green source. Yes, make black for real this time. Fatal Push. Delver. If they have a force, I hope they fight over this, because I want to trophy this one. Alright, cool. Coast is clear, and I'm at 9. 9 is generally an acceptable amount of life to have against Delver when you stabilize. 6 is the danger zone. And they've already cast 1 Lightning Bolt. Alright, Carpet of Flowers. Doing the Lord's work here. And I have Abrupt Decay and Oko. My hand is just full of removal and bangers. And they're under meaningful pressure in play from blue creatures, so I think in a turn or two, if not immediately, they would spend a Red Blast to remove Delver, which clears the way for Oko. That's what I'm trying to maneuver to right now. I got so excited about that Tibalt. I just forgot how mana works. That was sweet, though. They're going to die to their own Delver. Alright, I have Decay for that. So I'm going to say no in the first main, because I want to save it for the second. See if they Red Blast this. Just aggro Red Blast. Like, Red Blast it would be the perfect card to make sense for them to have right now. Alright, cool. So now I can attack for 3. Abrupt Decay this Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright, second main, I'm going to make the black. I guess I could make blue and Elk the Arcanist and get Oko into play when I know the coast is clear. But is that even better than what just killing it? No, I think this is just a better play. Like, I'm ahead on board anyway, they're top decking. There's not a whole lot of great draws left in their deck. Like, I can actually kill an Oko in combat if they draw Oko. I'm going to say no to this in the first main. I'm going to attack. Like if they have a lightning bolt or pyroblast, I want them to use it. All right, didn't have it. Yes, and I'm going to make blue this time. Should I respect Hull Breacher? All right, I'm going to lead on Oko, just in case they have Hull Breacher. All right, just scooped it up to that. Because if I had Brainstormed first and they had Hull Breacher, I would have had to put Oko and Dead of Winter on top of the deck, and then I couldn't do anything. I think I still win that game, but it would have been a lot worse. All right, so on the draw, do I want to bring in the Cage as a catch-all to Dreadhorde Arcanist? Though they've shown me Hooting Mandrills, so maybe something that bombs their graveyard would be better than Cage. So I think Nihil Spellbomb is the best of them because it's a cantrip. If I bring this in, what am I cutting? And Brazen Borrower is the most medium, but it is one of not very many answers to Hooting Mandrills in play. All right, yeah, I think I'm actually just off of Graveyard Hate. I enjoyed the Shardless Agent, grind him into the dust game plan. Ooh, just Valki Parade. I'll keep this. It's got removal in Valkis and basic lands. Please cast Ponder or Preordain and not Delver, though. Shit. Alright. Play a lot of removal. I'll find one. Told ya. I can snap this off now, or I can play around days. So I'm going to play around days. Also, if they play Dreadhorde Arcanist, I'm going to wish I saved my Fatal Push. And I can play around days, either way. I hope they don't curve a second Insane Threat after their first Insane Threat, but that's Delver. Okay, sweet. Yeah, every time Delver opponents cast Ponder or something on turn 2, or like activate Wasteland instead of playing Dreadhorde Arcanist, I am very happy. I mean, the backup Delver is pretty rough. What are you going to do? Alright, so I'm going to Fatal Push in their upkeep to play around Force of Negation. It plays into Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce. I just don't think that those are common cards. I'm going to let this trigger resolve. Alright, so we've seen Preordain. I'll kill one of these. They can't daze here, at least not effectively. And then I have Assassin's Trophy working up the curve. Even if they do just jam Oko here, I have a trophy for that. I'd prefer if they didn't, though. You know, one of their 4 cards is Preordain. Alright, now we know nothing about their hand. They did not fetch before their Preordain, though. I hope they don't want both those cards. So it'd be pretty cool if they just like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would be a cool way to abuse Valki here. Oh, they did top. So if they top Dreadhorde Arcanist and put another card they want under it, they are going to have to fetch, which is why you generally want to fetch before you Preordain, unless they're planning on also pondering or brainstorming here. But either way, that I feel like this awkward pause was them realizing that they're about to shuffle away the card they want, but it's worth it to cast Dreadhorde Arcanist. Oh, Tarmogoyf. That's a card in your deck? I thought we were done with that. Alright, so in this spot, they can force a negation on my turn and cost them 2 cards, or they can force a negation on their upkeep for a hard cast, so I might as well just do it now. I don't think Valkying them makes any sense. At least not this turn. Like next turn I can Valky and immediately transform it into a Tarmogoyf or Dreadhorde Arcanist, but I assume that any of those cards that would be in their hand are going to be in play by the time I get to cast Valky. Can at least look at their hand though. But I do need to answer this Delver. Just one of my many removal spells here would be clutch. Though they've done the Delver thing of presenting just one more threats than I have answers to keep the pressure on. Yikes. Alright, Dead of Winter, let's go. Off the top. Dead of Winter, Dead of Winter. Arkham's Astrolabe. Guess I'll start with that. It could still draw Dead of Winter. It did not do anything of the sort. Alright, Valky. Let's at least look at this hand. See how dead we are. If this Delver doesn't flip, Valky can block it, so we are getting on board at least a little bit here. If this Delver does flip, I'll be at 5, which is the danger zone against lightning bolts. I've played around Wasteland the whole game, so it's possible they just have some Wastelands rotting in their hand. I hope that is true. Let's hope I actually get something here. Okay, so they get the lightning bolt, so I never actually take the Treacher. I think I still get to see their hand, though. Dazed Scalding Tarn. Alright, that's not very good. So if this Delver doesn't flip, and then we draw a card, there's game to play. Alright, Delver didn't flip. So that means they drew land, creature, or Oko. Hopefully it's a land. Alright, deck. Time to find Dead of Winter and stabilize this game. I'm at 7. That's the magic number. Yeah. Ask and you shall receive. They would have flipped their Delver if they drew Force of Will, so bang. Let's get this cleared out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have the days, but I'm actually like on the route to casting Tybalt the hard way. I'm going to save this Valky in hand in case I brainstorm into Shardless Agent. I can go off. Yeah, I have to assume that they drew a land last turn. Alright, stable above 6 life is the goal. Alright, please don't have Hull Breacher. You can have Red Blast, but don't have Hull Breacher. Okay, so these fetch lands can go. I guess having 1 is the same as having 2 because 6 and 5 are the same. Yeah, so I'll put away one of the basics. I'm going to fetch. That puts me into double bolt range, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, I'll search up another basic. I have a fistful of Astrolabes anyway. Ooh, there it is. I'm not going to cast it into Daze, though. I have the Coatl that can contest the board, operate in their end step a little bit. Daze is not very good. I just don't want them to find a brainstorm at this point, basically, to fix this shitty hand of theirs. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay, there you are. Dreadhorde Arcanist, very good draw. But I have the Coatl cantrip plus Shardless Agent to try to make something good happen here. This Lightning Bolt in their graveyard is very dangerous. Carpet of Flowers. I mean, yeah, that card's pretty good. I'll put it on the stack. Then I'm going to play this Tropical Island. I don't think I want to fetch again. Then what is the pros and cons of going to combat second main? Hey, I'm going to go to second main. No attacks. Yes, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use it for blue. I have 2 Astrolabes. It barely matters what I actually tap it for. Alright, Brainstorm. Not bad. Finding Oko, also not bad. Alright, put back these lands. I don't need those. I can Valki to check their hand, but it can't take force anyway, so I'll just play around the days. I guess if I Valkied, I wouldn't have been able to play around days, so nice catch, Brian. Playing well. Oh, great. Is Dreadhorde Arcanus going to get the fucking trigger too? Probably is, like, if this bug is consistent at all. Uh-oh. Let's hope that if this bug is still in play here, my opponent at least does the honest thing and doesn't cast a spell. I wonder if they even attack if they don't get the trigger. Because they trade their 3/3 for a 1/1 if they attack, assuming they don't get the trigger. But if there is a bug and they do get the trigger and they get to Lightning Bolt, how about you just don't attack, please? Oh, okay. Dreadhorde Arcanus doesn't do that, so that's good. I'll take that. All right, and I can cast Tybalt now, playing around days. All right, yeah, I'll make a big pile of red. Cast Cosmic Imposter. Hello. I'm here. Yes. Exile the top card of each library. Just draw 2 cards. Days and Misty Rainforest. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll make my land drop. I'm gonna make food, actually. Like, getting double bolted is the only way I can lose this game, so I'm just gonna go to the life gain strat. Alright, Tybalt got into play twice, once on the hardcast, and once due to Cascade in the final round. I feel like we're over the hump here. I guess if their 3 unknown cards are 3 bolts, I could lose. Alright, please don't double bolt me in response. Okay, went to 9. Oh, I can cast this days, by the way. I may play cards exiled with Tybalt and spend any color. I wonder if I can bounce a land to do that. Alright, well, did you string together triple bolt? Okay, don't care about that. Alright, they probably shuffled away this days. I would hope so. Oh, don't care about that either. Alright, so I can trade for one of them and steal the other one with Tybalt. That's so funny. Yes, let's make some blue mana. Turn one of it into a snow. Cast Astrolabe. Fatal Push. Okay, that's even better. Yoink. Yeah, now I can keep gaining. Alright, Magic Online, figure this out. Okay. Now I can keep gaining life with Oko, and I don't even need to steal this other Arcanist. Yeah, now I'm out of triple bolt range, and they don't play 5 of them. I guess sometimes they do, but they don't have 5 cards in their hand. Like Chain Lightning is a flex slot that a lot of decks do play. Well, Tybalt is juicy though. You would hope that your 7 mana Planeswalker in Legacy has an impact on the board. Oko. I've never cared less about an Oko. Creature or artifact. Alright, bummer. Can't steal that one. Alright, so I'm gonna skip the Carpet of Flowers right now. I'm gonna exile the top card of each player's library, get my draw 2. Both of them are lands, that's cool. And I'm going to attack. Should I attack Oko or... Like, I don't want them to get their Dreadhorde Arcanist back, so I guess I'll attack Oko so they can't steal and attack them with this one. Alright, pretty sweet there. Found a Shardless Agent that can get rid of those 2 lands that I just put on top with Delver. Yes, please. Let's make blue, green, Shardless Agent. Found Ponder. Cast that. Shuffle that. Brazen Borrower, nice. That's definitely gonna close out any chance they might still have in this game. Ice Fang Coatl. Alright, let's go again. Like if I hit Pyroblast or Abrupt Decay and that can kill this Oko, then life is good. Alright, I will create a food. And I guess I might as well cast this Valki. Just make sure the card in their hand isn't some creature, but they would have cast a creature. At least give me my perfect information. This is insanity. Lightning Bolt, okay. Alright, I think we're pretty safe here. I'm not even going to cast the Ponder. Oh, they're just cracking their food. Oh, they're going to steal something. Yeah, that's right. So if they steal something that's mine, I can Brazen Borrower to put it back in my hand. Guess I should have made a land drop out of exile because it doesn't hurt me to do it, but I don't know. I knew I didn't want to play lands from my hand because they're better to get brainstormed. Oh, this Oko is just keeping them alive. That's sad. Klothys. I don't care about Klothys. I can bounce Klothys with Brazen Borrower. Alright, fetch away those 2 Underground Seas on top of the deck. I'm gonna gain some life in the end step. Just make sure that Klothys and Lightning Bolt never string together. I think we're already out of range, but better safe than sorry. I'm kind of hoping I get to Ultimate Tybalt. Like, I'm going to plus him this turn, and then minus him next turn, and then Lightning Bolt them with their own shit. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, I actually just have them dead, so I'm gonna make that play. I guess I don't necessarily have them dead. If they kept the lightning bolt in their hand, they can bolt one of my creatures, and then they're still alive. Because if I was paying attention, I also could have just played Brazen Borrower as a 3/1 creature in the end step and put lethal on board. I just don't think it matters. Oh, wow, hit a Ponder and a Shardless Agent. Nice. All right, I'm just going to go face with all these attacks. Didn't need all these spells in exile. Carpet of Flowers, serious MVP when you can Dark Ritual for 6 mana every turn. Tibalt becomes pretty easy to cast. So we're going to win this game. That's going to come up with a 3-2 in the league. And I punted game 1, and some serious glitch bug situations was going on in round 4. So the 2 rounds we lost, weird stuff happened. One was totally my fault. One was Magic Online. I feel like we were behind in round 4. I'm not going to say that we lost because of the bug, but it certainly didn't help. So I can see how Honorog would have 5-0'd with this list. Like it certainly has the potential. All right, attack my opponent with all my creatures. And I'm going to cast Ponder. I guess Brainstorm would have been better because my hand, despite being full of cool cards, actually, like Oko, doesn't do anything. I'll shuffle this. All right, my opponent is down to 2 life. Yes, let's do this. Let's make blue. I'm going to cast these Ponders in my hand and bounce Clothis. That's a good card to have. There are no counterspells in my deck. I boarded them all out, so I'm not digging for a counterspell here. All right, so Petty Theft. Get rid of Clothis. And I can leave Brazen Borrower hanging out in exile with all my other cards I can cast. Oh, including the Shardless Agent. I should do that. Abrupt Decay, that kills Oko. This is so absolutely dominating. And we did it. No surprise there. We were able to string together the win on that one. Okay, so this deck actually felt really sweet. Valki was impressive on the front half, which is, I think, the big test. Like, if this was just a blank on the front and Cosmic Imposter on the back, I don't think this would be good enough. But Valki became a Monastery Mentor once. It baited 2 Force of Wills out of Show and Tell once because it would have taken their Grizzlebrand. So that was actually impressive. Super cool card. The rest of this is just, I mean, bug stuff. You got Oko, Uro, Shardless Agent, pretty solid. Little awkward boarding into the Red Blast that one time, got punished for that. But in general, yep, can totally see how with tighter play and Magic Online working correctly, a 5-0 could happen here. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have a sweet Valki list. I would like to try it. See you next time.